guys, Fire here, bringing you another first impressions video. This time we're checking out one of my favorite mobile games of all time, Game Dev Story, that's now available on Xbox. So honestly, super excited to get to check this one out, and get to show it off with you guys. So we're gonna call our company name. Oh gosh. Fire Gaming, maybe? Is that work? I think Fire Gaming, because I can't really think of anything. So if you've ever played this game or haven't ever heard of this game before, you actually make video games and basically learn skills and abilities to make better and better games, and eventually you'll have chances to go to, Game Awards shows, hire different people, do all kinds of different things. You can create games, you can do contracts, just really a wide variety of things that all kind of add up to the opportunity of being able to kind of just complete and do things. You get to kind of develop and manage your own employees, and then there are opportunities as you go further in this game, on additional runs, at least on mobile, to, increase the speed of the game or modify certain things. It really just kind of varies with how that works. So while we're doing this job, we're also going to hire somebody, and you basically spend your money and try to find good enough talent to be able to help you complete whatever objectives you have. So for example, we're trying to complete out this contract. There's all kinds of interesting news stuff. New console generations will come out. A lot of them are borderline touching some probably very similar names with the things. But let's see who we can hire. So we have a coder, a sound engineer, another coder, so a bunch of coders and a sound engineer. So the stats here are things you want to kind of pay attention to, and their levels as well, all kind of culminate into how you're going to get performance. So this guy wants a lot of money, got some pretty good stats, but the sound engineers, honestly, about the same stats for half the price. So in this case, we're going to go with the sound engineer, which should ultimately help us complete out our contract. And as you hire different people and get to do different things, you'll get opportunities to make new games and get new genres and just different kind of combinations of things. So far, that mobile to console experience, this game feels 100% identical to the mobile version I've played in the past, and honestly, it's a super relaxing and just chill kind of game. I'm almost wanting to just touch the things on my screen, because that's kind of what I'm used to. So let's see, we can only develop, I believe, on one platform, but as you can see, different platforms are going to come in and out of the market, and you have to pay, just like in real life, to be able to develop things for those platforms. And then the genres that you have, combinations, will give you more of an edge and kind of different things that are going on in the game. So let's see, there's a marathon racing game. I honestly, let's see, let's do an animal racing game, and I always like doing quality or budget if you can afford it, and then you get to see the dev cost, and then you'll have other opportunities to go in certain directions. So for this one, we're gonna go for full budget, and I think we're gonna go for cuteness in game world. You'll earn more of these kind of points to increase your quality of games as you kind of get further into it. So let's see. Looks like we can hire somebody to write our proposal. So, or we can have somebody in a house do it. So we've got 200 to 1,000, but I think for this one, we're gonna try to do as much in house as we can, and it'll also give our people opportunities to kind of shine and to do better. So, and then what's cool is your games are gonna get kind of scored by reviewers at the end. You're gonna get a following, which is that kind of fame, and then hype is kind of excitement for the upcoming stuff. So as fame goes up, hype goes up, and kind of all around there. So we can see how much we've kind of churned, how our game progress is, and our yearly profit and sales all kind of get tracked here. If you're curious, those icons, there's the game, creativity, visuals, and sound design. And all those scores, you want them as high as you can. So like where our worker right there is kind of going on fire and getting those like nice boosts. Those are the things that really help us out along the way. And so sometimes hiring people is gonna backfire and not really work out for you. But in this case, we don't have anybody that can do graphics, so I think we're gonna shell out a little money and hopefully get a decent artist that can up some of our stuff here for us. You generally want to try to get at least 3+, 4+ kind of outputs from them. So this case right here is definitely really helping us on the graphics for our game. And then you get to name your game, you get to see all kinds of like stats. You'll end up seeing like histories of everything that we've ever done, and you'll be able to go all the way back and really see how everything goes while you're playing. And like I said, this is more not like a for first impression to the game, but honestly, like my thoughts and how it kind of compares to the mobile version that I've played in the past. So I'm honestly like really impressed with kind of what's going. You can also do things like advertising. So like we get to take out an online ad, but since we haven't done stuff before, nobody's really gonna know who we are. So it is kind of cool to see that we're getting some fame and hype, and we've not even released a game yet. And if you remember, we had that sound engineer we hired, so we'll see how well they can do and see if hiring them paid out for us. So like I said, the more of these outputs we can get, the best. I'd like to see at least 4 of each, but 3 for our first game isn't too bad. And there's sometimes going to be certain combinations for things that you wouldn't think make sense, but they just kind of work with as far as like certain genres in the game. Research. So research data is things where you can go in here and let me find where this is. No staff. You can so you can go here. You can level up your staff. Means you're gonna have to pay them more, but they're gonna end up performing way better for you. There's also opportunities. I believe might be under use item. No, different items and things you can buy, but there's also going to be opportunities down the road to kind of turn those little research icons that you see to even boost your games up even further. There's going to be like these little salesman guys that come around trying to sell you stuff. Now, our game does have bugs, so they do have to work through those, but you can release games ahead of time even with bugs. So, sometimes it could go in your favor, but honestly, spend a little bit of time and just kind of deal with it. Now, the game doesn't necessarily tell you at the beginning, but you're going to have to things like overhead and everything. So you've got to run your own little mini game studio, and it costs money to do just about everything. So I would be cautious with your money in the beginning. and don't necessarily worry about upgrading your, you know, studio into things right off the bat. You know, to take your time, really just to kind of get used to things and build up a little bit of capital. You're bound sooner or later to have a pretty good big hit that'll ultimately dump some funds kind of in your bank account to be able to really afford and expand things. So like I'll probably take, if we can get some okay profits here, use those profits to get another employee and to try to just continue building up some things. So we've got our racing animal game, and we can name that game. So let's call this one Safari. No, it won't use the word Safari. Safari Sprinter. Safari Sprinters. And it's an animal racing game. So let's try this. Then we get to ship it and to see how reviewers like. You know, it's going to take a while, and you're going to need really good staff to get some crazy good scores. And eventually, if you get good enough scores, you're actually going to get opportunities to, you know, to do other things in the game. You know, to develop sequels that automatically give you advantages in other areas. And then one thing I just would recommend, like in between jobs, do contracts, and so sometimes just do a cheaper contract just to be able to help pad your wallet a little bit, and that's always something that can definitely help you out. So let's see, we're probably hoping we can maybe get 5 to 10,000 units out of this for first one to be able to hopefully give us some income coming in, and you can see that down below where we can go in and see how we're doing. And then there's also like a top to 30 ranking, and if you can get into those charts, you know it's going to kind of give you a little more like long-term sales. And then as you can see, we can go into info and view our product and actually see if we're gonna make money. You know, we spent 330,000 on this, and we've only made 87 grand so far. So this thing probably needs to sell about 50,000 units for us to really be able to even make money. So that's why we're kind of doing some contract jobs in between to, you know, pad our wallet a little bit. And I think if we maybe hire one more person, we might get some opportunities to make an even better title, because it's not really looking like we're probably going to make too much money on this kind of first game here. Looks like we have another sound engineer, but also a designer. I think we're going to go with our designer, because that's kind of just give us some diversity, and it might give us a little leg up as we go to develop our second title, which we'll do another one here, at least in this video, so you guys can kind of see a little more of the game, and who knows, we got to see if we can't do a little bit better than what we did on the job prior. So let's go ahead and go in here, and we're going to develop a new game. We'll do another PC game, and as you also can see, this genre got a level. The more we develop in these genres, the more we're going to kind of make. So let's try next time. Let's do a puzzle game and a puzzle... Let's do a puzzle reversey game. And those are kind of going to be two genres that should work together pretty well. So we'll get this going and see how we can do with our second game up. So we can do our game proposal. I think we're going to try to keep most of this in-house this time, and not to develop anything that's, you know, outsourcing as much as we can. I don't think we can in-house all of it just yet, because I don't know if we have a really good graphics person. Now, at the same time, when you are developing your game, you have to pay attention, because your staff do get burnt out. So that's a thing that you kind of have to deal with. But what's nice is we don't have a lot of money coming in, but Safari Sprinters, it looks like it's finished and no longer up for sale. So we did make a little bit of money, which was good. It looks like the new Exodus console that we saw did sell a lot of units. but I would imagine it's got a nice little cost for us to even start developing. So as you can see here, this is going to be one of the opportunities when your workers really want to try to boost something. It's going to cost you money, and then you're going to have to spend these research data to increase their odds. So we're going to try that here, but even doing this could be an entire flop, which adds more bugs. Or, hey, look, we did it, it's a success, and then it's usually going to give you a decent bit in that category, in this case creativity, which is already setting us up to have way better numbers than the opportunities that we had before this. So that's definitely cool, but we also know that we're going to end up having to pay employees salaries and rent here for fairly soon, which is going to make this a little hard for us to kind of manage our funds. So we're going to need this game to kind of really help pad our wallets and save as much money as we can as well, because the salaries are going to really eat up into us. But what's really going to help us here for this launch is we have a lot of hype, and we really haven't done anything, but it's just that combination of the two genres are really helping us kind of drive this new game that we're developing. So, and like I said, opportunities to train and upgrade your staff are really going to help improve things in the long run. So let's see, now we need to start paying attention to sound. Again, we're lucky enough to have it in-house, so we just need to hope that our employees can deliver for us. Honestly, for our second game, this is actually some pretty good numbers, but that sound design, honestly, was a little lackluster for those performances. But I think we might stand a chance of getting a title that might make the top 30. And when you do that, it really does up your sales for what you have going on. So let's see how quick we can get these bugs wrapped out of here, and then we should be able to have opportunities to just increase more. So thankfully we don't have to pay salaries now, but next year we'll have to start paying wages. And if you get too far in the hole and bankrupt, which is very easy to do early in the game, your game will just end, which is kind of an unfortunate thing. So one thing I would recommend doing, and that's what I'm going to do right here, is make sure you take opportunities to save your game. And it looks like for some reason I can't use my D-pad. I don't know why. And now it looks like my game is opening a web browser. I think I might have clicked something in game, so we're going to undo that real quick. Okay, looks like we did finish our game 2. I don't know what I clicked, so that's on me, but it looks like we did break our record in 3 of our different titles, and now for some reason I have a mouse cursor. So I think this one we're going to call Simple. We're just going to pretend we made a chess game, and that's what we're going to do, is have a chess game. Simple chess. And let's see how well simple chess works out for us. And I'm going to have to figure out after this video what in the world I did to get a cursor. So our reviewer score was honestly a lot lower, which isn't good, but maybe we'll get lucky that the hype that drove the game will help sell some units. So it looks like we are getting some money in, and if you remember what I was telling you, is make sure you come in here. I think I had to have clicked something in here that changes this, but make sure in between developments, if you don't have a ton of money, go in here and do a contract. That way you have some guaranteed money coming in, and at the same time you can kind of see if you really need to deal with things. So it looks like we did make that top 30 mark, which is amazing news for us. So that's going to start to bring in a lot of money for us and be able to help push us for further. So I'm trying to get over here. So this is the guy that actually sells you stuff and gives you opportunity to do boosts in different categories. You can only buy so many things from him at once, But I would recommend trying to buy these as he comes in, and then, just don't necessarily bankrupt yourself, because that's going to just be something that doesn't go well for you in the end. But it is opportunities for you to turn those research points into things that are actually going to benefit you from your game. So it does look like Simple Chess is our highest selling game. And as you can see here, we only spent 110 grand, so we've almost tripled our money with hardly any effort whatsoever, which is all awesome to see. And I think it's about to push the 50,000 units total. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so we're making enough money here to easily fund our next development. And if we can complete this contract, it's going to be probably a little close. This is going to set us up with a nice kind of nest egg of money and be able to really push for further and further into the game. And that's really what Game Dev Story is all about, is trying to create like your best version of your own game studio and give you a chance to kind of see what's out there in the game. And that's honestly one of the reasons I like this game so much for mobile, and now seeing it on console, it's just for me it's a ton of fun and a nice blend from one area I play video games on to another, so which is really cool and fun to get to kind of just experience. And I hope you'll consider checking out Game Dev Story as well. If you have any questions about the game, stuck somewhere, anything like that, let me know down below in the comments. Outside of that, I hope you have a great rest of your day. I appreciate you stopping by the channel, and maybe you'll consider checking out one of the other 2 videos on your screen now. Until then, I'll catch you next time. Have a blessed rest of your day.